what's the value of NFTs? Like, why is the internet a better place for them? And, if while you're explaining some of this to me, I think it'd be cool to put me in the shoes of someone who is that beginner friend. So like, I'm asking you, Shiv, like I'm your friend, I'm saying, what's all this NFT stuff you're talking about? And like, you have to tell me what the value is. What do you say?
Yeah. So I think the key with NFTs is that they are a way to represent proof of ownership of something, right? And it's easier to understand with digital assets because you can actually prove that you can own them. But I wrote another follow-up thread to my Future of NFTs one, which was about the properties of NFTs, right? And that kind of explains a little bit about why NFTs have this combination of unique properties that make them particularly well suited to represent a proof of ownership. So the first is that they are unique, right? You can't have two NFTs that are the same. They all have a unique address. The second is that they are publicly verifiable, which means that if I own an NFT, anyone, and it's on a public blockchain, anyone can go and verify that I am the owner. Which when we get to the use cases, it starts to become clear why that's so important, right? College diplomas and degrees are something that I always go back to as there's no proof. Like the only way to get actual proof in the non-NFT world or in a world without NFTs for things like that would be to ask the actual university or ask me for a PDF, which as anyone knows is easily photoshoppable. And that's just one example, right? That's the same is true for certificates. It's true for medical records, for legal documents, and all kinds of things that people have an incentive to forge. Identity is another big one. Like there's a massive identity theft problem in many parts of the world, including the US. And if you want a digital identity, how do you actually have proof that the person is who they say they are, right? So NFTs are a way to solve a bunch of these problems, and part of the reason is because of this these features of being unique and being publicly verifiable. And then there's a few others which I think we can get into. Quick? Of course.
Yeah. So you said unique, and I'm looking at all these pictures of NFTs online, and I'm thinking like, okay, I see I just saved. It's so typical in like Twitter. Everyone's like, oh, I just right click saved. So, but it's not the picture, the visual component of the NFT that really matters, is it? It's the underlying token, right? That's unique. And can you explain a little deeper on that?
Sure. Yeah, it's the ownership of the token that actually matters. That's the only part that that becomes really important because sure, you can right click and save the actual image, and similarly with anything else. But what you're really getting with NFTs on a public blockchain is that ownership history, right? So if you right click save and you mint your own NFT, anyone can go and see that your NFT is not the same one that mine is. It's a different one. You minted the NFT yourself. I bought mine for 100 ETH, let's say. And that's where that difference comes in, is that when you have that verifiability and you have that unique ownership, you just can't forge it. It's easy for anyone to go and verify. Yeah. And maybe I imagine that the UX layers around this will also get better over time, so that the things that we care to verify are just inherently verified for us through a UX layer, like a blue check mark sort of thing.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.